Hey people, Carter here. What's going on? Got a video for you. We're going to take a look at the Bad Blood Dreadnaught and the Bad Blood Fire Spitter. Just a quick comparison. I'm not going to ramble on too terribly long, but I did want to point out some differences in the two. So you can see overall gist is the same, G10 going on, size is about the same, bead blasted, 8CR13 MOV steel. Obviously very different blade shapes. Flipper design on both of these. Hardware on the Dreadnaught is blacked out, whereas it's bead blasted on the Fire Spitter. Different texture G10, you can see there. Fire Spitter is thicker by quite a bit, and you can see how much thicker the liners are. And that basically amounts to a lot more weight on the Fire Spitter, especially in the handle. You can see how the stock is actually thicker on, both thick, but the stock on the Dreadnaught is quite a bit thicker than the Fire Spitter. But the handle on this thing is so heavy. It's like holding a big steel brick in your hand. It really is. Pocket clips are similar. This one just has some decorative holes in it. Other than that, very, very much the same. Lockup on this particular one is early, whereas this one's kind of middle. I would guess that would vary quite a bit depending on what you pick up. This one is solid liners right there, and you can see they are not bead blasted for some reason on the Dreadnaught, and they've got pretty sharp edges actually, and that's one of my few complaints on this knife. There's a lot of tension on that lock bar, and it's a pretty sharp edge, so it does kind of hurt your thumb to disengage this lock bar. You can see how sharp that edge is right there, maybe. Pretty sharp edge. Whereas this guy actually has a nice little chamfer on the inside of that lock bar, and not nearly as much lock bar strength on the Fire Spitter. Also has a relief cut right here to help lessen the tension on the bend because of the liners being so thick. They're both very smooth. This one actually flips a little bit better for me, but I'm guessing that would, it's going to vary. I think that the only reason it flips a little better is just the less tension on the lock bar, meaning less drag on the blade when you flip it open. This one I did mention has a little bit of a detent problem. You can see how it's got slop in it. The detent hole's drilled to rest right here, but it actually can close more than that, whereas the Dreadnaught doesn't have that problem. Detent's in the right place. So both are really cool though for the money. They look very cool. Sean Kendrick is an amazing knife maker, and definitely worth supporting him by picking up some of these knives, whether this is your grail, just an EDC you don't mind beating up, or if you just like to pick up new stuff and try it out like me, beat on them, throw them in your garage, whatever the case may be. They're definitely tanks of knives, and they're tanks of knives that are liner locks, which is refreshing, because typically if somebody's making a tank flipper, it's always going to be a frame lock, so it's cool to see a liner lock kind of fill that position. Alright guys, that's it. Just a look at these two. I'm out of here.